Hi there. So it is currently 2 in the morning in AEST time. I just got home from work 30 minutes ago from my shift at the pub. But while I was on my break at the pub, I peep into my game server, or Mayhem, all my stuff, and I see that Fives has posted a new video, and it's the new reveal trailer for the new Granblue Fantasy Versus game. Now, I must confess, I am a massive fan of Granblue Fantasy Versus. It got me into the gacha for a while, and I remember when it was revealed, I was all in. I love fantasy fighting games. I'm a huge Soul Calibur fan, so I was all in for Granblue Fantasy the moment it was revealed. And may I just say, this new trailer is OD. If you haven't seen it yet, please go watch it. And before you watch it though, go watch the original reveal trailer for first Granblue Fantasy Versus. Because it plays off the old trailer in really fun ways. I actually really love this trailer. As a guy who watched and followed the game since its announcement, it was a real kick to the chest, and I don't want to say nostalgia, but it was really fun seeing all those callbacks within the shots they used and the music cue placement and stuff like that, and how it sort of sets up your expectations and then plays with them a little bit. I remember I was watching it as I was walking to the 7-Eleven, and my jaw just hit the floor because this is exactly what I wanted from Granblue. I was so happy when I first saw this trailer because I was like, yes, dude, the game, the game's not dead anymore. The game has a chance. It finally might have a chance to really thrive. And from what they showed, it seems super exciting, but I was hoping to discuss it a little bit. So let's get right into it, shall we? To go back to what I was saying earlier about the callback, I love the font stuff here with them showing off, all this talk about, the fate of battle and the turbulent skies and all that. It's a nice callback to the first trailer, but the thing I really love is when it gets to this bit, geared up and ready to go, dare to rumble with the best. It's just a flat reference to the first reveal trailer. I think that's such a fun idea that they put into there, and I thought that was really smart. And I love how at first it's when they show off the old setup for for Catalina versus Gran. It's the same stage and shot, but as you can see, all the facial models have been updated a little bit. All the character models have been updated. And I'm going to probably be mentioning Strive a lot because they've clearly taken some cues overall from Strive, but both Catalina and Gran's models have been updated. The real shocking thing, they've basically completely redone the movesets, and there's a few cool key ideas going around in this trailer that I really want to talk about. One, and probably the most immediate thing, they seem to have added Strive-esque counter hits to the game. There was a few big red character splashes with zoom ins and big changed hit effects. Original Granblue counter hits were very important, but the game didn't go out of their way to show them off. And they rarely affected what the hit state was, right? A heavy wouldn't go from standing stun into a crumple. This game seems to have changed it a bit, and they also, from what I can tell from this attack from Gran here, this seems to be this is a completely new move. He did not have this, and there's a lot of new normals, by the way. But that's a completely new move. So either that's a new special, or what I'm hoping is it's a new command normal. And I say hoping, but it's basically this trailer confirms that there's some form of new command normal, but it seems to be implemented into the auto combo strings, which is really intriguing, but we'll get into it. But as you see here, another thing that's new, this counter hit causes a crumple state, like a sit on your ass state. Prior, in Granblue prior, I believe this was only really accessible off of latex. You couldn't really force this off a hit. There weren't many moves that did force crouching and stuff like that. The closest I can think of is counter hit universal overhead, but I mean, if they were getting counter hit off that, they were already crouching anyway, right? So, but other than that, there weren't counter hits that changed move attack effects, right? So that seems to be a completely new addition, a very Guilty Gear. Right, very Arc System works. But here as well, at the end of his auto string, this is a new attack as well. This is a completely new attack. And this is going into what I think they're doing with the auto combo system. Now, Granblue's auto combo system is actually, I think, pretty smart for the kind of game they were making. Granblue's a very neutral, footy-based kind of focused game, right? With a tinge. It's very Street Fighter, right? Anime Street Fighter was a big moniker that it was given for a while, and I think that holds pretty true. I don't think it's an unfair moniker. But the auto combos were a really fun way of opening up the accessibility of the game without ruining its neutral. Because the auto combos were all unique normals. You can only access those normals via the auto combos. And you could get them off any close normal. Close, light, medium, and heavy all led into the auto string. Well, the auto strings themselves rarely had any. They basically had no variance as to how they worked. There was occasional stuff with like counter hit or air juggle states where you'd only do like half of one, but nothing within like the auto string itself. So this is immediately interesting, right? Because as we see in the next clip, Catalina. So this is the second hit of her original auto string. This is the second hit, I believe, or it's yeah, it's the second hit. I'm pretty sure. But then she goes into an overhead. And we see more of this down the line in the trailer. If we skip to Digit here, she'll do a string against Seonx, and she'll do her full auto, but then end in a low. And as we saw earlier, Gran seemed to have ended his auto string with a mid, right? So it seems like what they're doing is they're adding new attacks to the auto strings, and they seem to be high-low based, which is very interesting. It's very strange. I'm not really sure what to think about it, to be honest. It seems degen as fuck, but honestly, I think if Granblue needed any more of anything, it was anime BS. So to get off like mechanical stuff for a moment, the game has also very clearly been visually updated quite a lot. The new, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, the new character models, but the new particle effects, the new visual effects for a lot of the characters have been shifted as well. EX moves now have a much more prominent glow to a lot of them, and there's also some new mechanics going around that we're going to get into soon enough. But I think the biggest showcase of strivism going on here. Also, before we get into that, fun little thing they show off in the trailer. The mechanics that were added to original Granblue were clearly beta tests for the mechanics in this game. Because we see Rushdown. Rushdown is shown off of a crouching medium from Catalina. She initiates Rushdown with some beautiful new effects tied to it. So clearly it's an important mechanic. Also, I believe the shoulder she does, I don't remember. No, that shoulder was part of the OG. I thought that was a new normal for a moment. It's not. It also works like Rushdown in OG Granblue, where you do the two attacks, and if it's off of a, if you convert it off into Rushdown off a normal, you're allowed to end it in an EX move. And I imagine it works the same, where if you do it on its own, it gets the involve, but no EX move, right? Ironically, this reminds me a lot of Drive Rush. Not ironically, but I think it's funny because that mechanic came first as far as the public consciousness is concerned. But I know there's going to be a million people going like, oh, it's like Street Fighter mechanics. And it's like, oh boy, you know, which is going to be quite funny. Now here, I saw this shot of the trailer, and I knew immediately that someone in the office was like, yeah, this Strive game's pretty cool. We should do what they're doing. Because this is a big old Strive counter hit, dude. The zoom in, the massive particle effects, the giant show off of counter, right, with the anti-air. They're following the Strive book of make everything really loud and obvious. But unlike Strive, they're not fucking with the 3D space of the camera. It's purely a zoom in with big particle effects and shake, right? So I think what they're trying to do is learn from the mistakes of early Strive builds, which was that the counter camera was infuriating for players to deal with because you would lose, like the camera would just be doing its own thing and you would try to do the combo in spite of it. I think there was an overreaction to the Strive camera. People were going to get used to it, but they ended up toning it back anyway, which is an interesting choice. But they've taken some cues here, and I like these cues. I think Strive's a beautiful game, and it's really fun to watch in motion. And I think Granblue's also always been a very gorgeous game to look at. But I think adding these more cinematic effects to fights I think it's always been one of the pluses of modern fighting games that they've constantly gone out of their way to do that and make fighting games look as visually impressive as possible. So I'm really on board with it. But here, this is interesting to get on with it. Gran and a lot of the characters in the game, I'm just gonna call it now. Characters seem to have supers that are tied to their special move, right? And reusing special animations. How they work, obviously, I have no fucking idea. But as you see, he does Overdrive Surge, and there's this big super-esque background, right, added to the move, and then he does a completely new follow-up. That's a new attack animation, I'm pretty sure. If it isn't, I don't remember where it's from. And then he seems to initiate another one. I'm not sure if this was part of the same sequence or a different super special entirely, but there does seem to be a form of super special in the game. He also does the same follow-up as the Overdrive Surge one. So that's very intriguing. I'm very curious what resource it's tied to. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's pretty. Look at that. But they were showing some new mechanics somewhere. There you go. New actions, ultimate skill. Oh, they actually tell you about it. Take each character's skill to the next level. The Granblue Fantasy Versus experience has been elevated not only visually, but with deeper battle mechanics to outplay and outsmart your foes like never before. Okay, they tell you literally nothing about how it works. As I said earlier, they look like super special moves. Actually, this is really good, clean footage. So that's a super projectile. There's a super DP. There's the counter hit I mentioned earlier, and there's also a super DP from Belial before it kicks you away, very Terumi-esque. I'm very curious what resource this is tied to. Also, if I may just mention, one thing that they seem to have done with the new game is they seem to have a lot of the new animations and a lot of the old animations look a lot more fluid than they did before. So I'm wondering if they've added extra this is a real shot in the dark, but I'm wondering if they've added extra frames of animation to some of the old normal animations and stuff. I'd be very surprised if they went the extra mile to do that, but considering this game does seem to be pushing for higher visual spectacle, I wouldn't be that surprised. And obviously some Strive influence is definitely kicking around. But yeah, as we see here, these are the new ultimate skills, which is very interesting. There's also some new ones going around. It looks like a new command normal. That's probably an ultimate skill Rekka for Jita, I imagine. You got an ultimate skill DP from Catalina, and that's awesome, by the way. I love that so much. That gives me really some plus Archive vibes, you know, with the DP follow-up you used to have, but we end with this big stab from Arius and stuff. Oh, that shit's cool. Oh, oh no, they gave him a fucking super teleport. That's what he needs. There was some other stuff in here. So they show off some stuff here as well with the character portraits. By the way, these new character portraits are gorgeous, by the way. I love them so much. We don't see anything new for Gran. We do see something new for Catalina. We see the low. So this goes back into the thing I was talking earlier about command strings. She gets a low as well. So this seems to be a universal thing across the roster. Everyone gets high lows. Once again, I'm very curious how this is balanced within the cast, right? Because it makes auto strings much more powerful in block strings if there's high lows tied to them. They seem to be going all out with the mechanics. They've decided, fuck it, we're gonna go nuts, right? Yep, we see a new special move here. That looks really cool, by the way. This reverse handled uppercut she does. Yeah, Jita's so cool. He doesn't like Jita. Yep, we see like a mini super from Seance. That's probably an overhead from an overhead string, right? We see, dude, fucking Narmaya gets this like Nago-esque super, right? Does this rising air katana combo with two hands. It looks pretty classy, dude. What the heck is that from Zeta? Does this big backswing with the spear? Yeah, that looks sick as hell. All right, I watched the trailer, but I'm also like, whoo, man. Oh, there's the low option. The stomp, that's really cool, actually. That looks really sick. Did that cause a guard break, by the way? I wouldn't be surprised if there's a guard break mechanic. I think it did, judging from the animation that it showed off there. Boink. Yeah, that looks like a guard break for sure. Also, it's really funny. They say new actions, which are clearly shown, but then they show a stage. It's like, huh? And obviously, the biggest reveal of the trailer, rollback netcode. Can I just bring up, I both love and hate how fighting games as a genre are in a state where if your trailer simply reveals that you're using the good netcode, everyone's like, oh, thank God. Everyone loves the game all of a sudden, right? The rollback era is here. Another win for rollback here. It's very funny. It's very funny. I do love how with Granblue, though, you didn't just get a rollback patch, you got a whole new fucking game. Granblue boys eating, dude. I'm very happy. I'm a very happy lad with that. Also, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, crossplay is also coming, which is great, by the way. This should be a standard. So yeah, no, they absolutely pulled out all the stops for this game. Also, one last shot they revealed that I'm extra hyped for once it gets up to it. Yeah, looks like. So, what I remember when Jita came out, I was sad about this. So I was a Grand main when the game came out. Definitely don't play him so much anymore because they nerfed him into the fucking ground and they never fixed medium overdrive surge, and I'm still cut about it, right? But I remember when Jita came out, for ages I was really hoping for like Eternal Grand. Within Granblue Fantasy, there's the Eternals, right? Who are basically like Space Avengers. They got really cool, interesting lore. But the main character can meet them and learn their powers, and by mastering all 10 of their weapons, they gain this new Eternal form. So they get the blue, Super Saiyan blue hair and shit. They get the blueberry hair. It looks really sick. But I really wanted it for Gran, because Gran's my boy and I love Gran. But they never gave it to him, but they gave it to Jita. As we know, if you do the Deadly Ray version of her for her Skybound art, right, she gets the blue hair, right, and they show that off, which is really cool. But my boy Gran, I didn't get it, but now he does, and it's a cool part of the marketing, which is really fucking cool. All right, so yeah, but what this is, I don't know. If this is a new Super Skybound art, I don't know. I don't think it is, because they show parts of his old one, right? Of his old Super Skybound art. That's his old one. So unless there's like a new, even better, sicker super, or they've added more supers, or this is story mode stuff, which I doubt. I don't think this is story mode stuff. I think that's in-game. I don't know, right? I can only speculate, really. But it's very interesting. It looks cool. I hope it's a form of install, or at least like a really sick attack, because I would love to. I'd love my boy to be restored. Brought back to his full power. Right? That would be great. I'll happily die a Grand main if they give that to me. Other than that, though, one extra thing that's very funny that they showed off. I haven't actually watched this video yet. Looks like they decided to do something with the Chibis after all. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, you can go off the ship? What? Holy fuck. Dude, they expanded the fuck out of this game, actually. Holy shit. What is this? Okay, hold on. I didn't know about this. I didn't watch this yet. I wasn't there for the stream. What is this? Why the fuck is it? Oh, sorry, I gotta interrupt this. This Zelda-esque fucking flying. Fall Guys is in here too, apparently. You even do the jump. You literally, characters are doing the jump. They're doing the Fall Guys jump. What the fuck? What's this? Holy shit. Dude, Street Fighter 6 fucked everyone up. Everyone is trying to be as good as, like, everyone's pulling out everything. What the hell?
Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising.
Holy shit. May I also just say, this logo is DMC5 level sick. Alright, you know how DMC5 is an S tier logo? This is that level. It's even got the same motif of the wings. But fuck, dude, this is a fucking amazing logo. This is so good. I love this logo so much. Right. But yeah, I didn't know about this. I didn't know they can. I mean, I always think that that's the thing with every Arxis game that gets made. They've really fallen in love with this Chibi Lobby style, and I really like it too, but they never do anything with it. The most I think they ever did with it, I want to say Dragon Ball, but no, I'd say BB Tag actually was probably the most expansive. It had the best models, it had the best emotes. But even then, there was nothing to do other than do the emotes and chat at people, which eventually people just started doing and role-playing and ruined every open lobby of that game. But like, that's how good they were, though, which is a testament to how good BB Tag did it. But the fact that they're taking these old assets, and this is one of my favorite things about Rising, from what I've seen of it as a project, is that they're taking all this old content and they're completely reformatting it and expanding it completely without giving up all the old assets they probably spent tons and tons and tons of fucking money to make, which I'm really happy about. All right. Because that was probably the thing that crushed me the most about original Granblue, was that it was clearly so much like love and care was put into it, and tons of effort and sweat and blood and tears and money, right, to make a good fighting game, and then it comes up with delay netcode in the COVID era, and then rollback starts kicking around, and doesn't matter how good that fighting game is, bro, no one's gonna play that shit, right? Unless you're a sicko like me, and even then I didn't play it that much. So to see them take all their old assets, layer tons of new stuff on top of it, and really expand what they had already made, I think is by far the smartest choice they could have made, right? And I think the game's great, because I wanted to play more Granblue Fantasy Versus. I didn't just want a sequel. I wanted to play more of the game I already got, and I'm gonna get to do that, right? So I think this is like the best announcement ever. Like, a lot of shit got announced, but I don't normally make videos about it. Granblue's important enough for me to make a video about it. This game is so cool. I love this game. It deserved better. I want to see more tournaments. I want to see NA pop off. I want to see Japan pop off. I want to see Oceania maybe pop off on this game for once. All right, that would make me so fucking happy. And I think they've done a killer job from the little they've shown off so far. We haven't even seen everything yet. That's what I'm really fucking nervous about, actually. There are like 4 other mechanics that they have yet to tell us about. Right, we already can infer some of them, like the new strings and the new counter hits. But if there's like new supers and shit, like I don't know yet. Right, so I'll be keeping tabs on the game. But yeah, I'm super happy Granblue is not dead, and I'm gonna be able to play a version of Granblue with rollback and new mechanics and all the old roster seemingly. Seemingly all the old roster. Belial clearly isn't DLC, but if Vera and Avatar in the game, I don't know. Avatar's probably not in the game. I'd be surprised if he was. I'd be very surprised if they got rid of Vera, though. Like, you made me wait so long for that character. You're not going to put her in the follow-up? But Arxis has done dumb shit like that before, so I wouldn't even be surprised. But yeah, no, I'm super fucking hyped. This game actually looks like a real contender next year. And I'm very surprised. It came absolutely out of nowhere for me. I was not expecting this. I was expecting some final DLC. And maybe some murmurs of a rollback patch. If we're really lucky, not full on, like, a new version. Like, what is this, fucking 2014? You know, what is this, Revelator just came out? I'm blown away, so really hyped.
Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising.